Hello, this is David, and today I'm at the Sale Leisure Centre in Manchester for the Trafford Metro Masters Swimming Meet 2025, where I'm racing in the 50 and 100 metres freestyle, as well as the 50 metres butterfly and the 200 metres individual medley for a little bit of fun there, which of course I'm going to be sharing with you today in this video. So if you give it a like, I would very much appreciate it. Remember to follow and subscribe for more swimming content, and to swim faster on limited training time, head on over to westcough.com. But otherwise, without any further ado, let's dive right into today's competition. We start with the 100 metres freestyle. So a 105.42 in the 100 metres freestyle. Not quite sure what to think about that, because I'm rather glad that it's a sub 106, but I think that I could have gone faster still. In fact, I know I could have gone faster still, because on that last length, I was hugging the lane rope, actually hitting the lane rope, which means I was losing precious traction on my right arm as that was pulling, which naturally meant that I lost time there. I also think I went out rather conservatively, largely because I was a little bit nervous with it being my first 100 free for 6 months and not wanting to absolutely die on the last length. However, coming into the final, I felt as though I could have probably given it a little bit more, and I wasn't as tired as I would be on a 100 metres freestyle where I've absolutely smashed it. So on the whole, I think it was good. No Mizunos, not the most conducive pool to getting personal bests, also not shaved down, so I think a 105 is relatively reasonable. I think I could have maybe gone a mid to low 104 if I'd gotten my absolutely race tactics right, but a little bit rusty. Naturally, I've been training for 50s as opposed to 100s, so yeah, it's not a bad time with all those things considered. Moving on to the 50 metres butterfly. A 33.35 in the 50 metres butterfly, and I must admit this one pleasantly surprised me. I wasn't expecting to go that fast. I was expecting a 34 point odd, so really glad to come in with a low 33. Yeah, just felt strong. Because it's a 50, I didn't need that back end speed like I did for the 100 metres freestyle. Yeah, thought that things went well in this race, and again, considering that it wasn't the best pool for getting a PB in, didn't shave down, wasn't wearing Mizunos, yeah, I think it was a pretty good time overall, one that I'm reasonably happy with, and means that hopefully I'm on for a good season for my 50 metres butterfly. Next up, it's the 50 metres freestyle splash and dash. So a 29.91 in the 50 metres freestyle. Got to admit, a little bit disappointed with this one. I thought I would nick a 28 point. So clearly I was quite far off in my estimate here. Although comparing that to a swimmer that's around about the same level as me when it comes to swimming sprint freestyle, yeah, perhaps it was not so bad of a time as I originally expected. I don't think I executed my stroke as well as I wanted to, and hence wasn't quite as quick on this one, but really gave the power, especially down the second length. I thought that I did well. Maybe didn't get quite up to speed down the first length, which resulted in a slower time than I wanted. So yeah, not quite sure what to think about that 50 metres freestyle, but at the very least, glad to have kept it to an under 30 second. And finally, the absolute wild card that is the 200 metres individual medley.
Where's my list? Have you, what are you on? Number 2, is that it?
Lane 2, David Westcough, Leeds. Lane 3, Leeds, City. Lane 4, Lucy, City of Sheffield.
On 54, you can...
Lane 6, David Westcough.
Tom's got a medal. I said that too.
Currently leading.
That's very
David Westcough for these Leeds. Usually sorts of on the breaststroke.
If you do it in your house, fine. No, but it's fine.
Lucy and together coming back down for this breaststroke there. Still a close race here, and I think in the might just get everyone at the end. And Lucy's going to come in and win that lead. Well done, Lucy.
A 2:54.39 in the 200 metres. I am beating my target entry time of 3 minutes by nearly 6 seconds, so definitely something to be really happy about there. However, one thing that went absolutely dreadfully was the turn from the backstroke to the breaststroke. Went with the traditional method, finishing on the back and then trying to flip on the front, because I'm not very practiced at the modern, more efficient method of touching and then flipping backwards. But even still, that went horribly wrong. My feet got caught underneath me, so I didn't really get a push off the wall onto the breaststroke 50 portion of the swim, which meant that despite the fact that I built myself up a massive lead over the 50 fly and maintained that over the backstroke, I essentially completely lost that on the back to breaststroke turn just in there. So something to practice if I want to do this in the future. But Otherwise, just a fun event for me. Really good to try something different for a change, and one that I might be keeping in my repertoire for future events. Who knows, maybe it's something I'll enter at nationals, but largely rather happy with that swim. If you've enjoyed today's video, please give it a like. Remember to follow and subscribe for more swimming content, and to swim faster on limited training time, head on over to westcough.com. But otherwise, that is it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I've been David Westcough, and I'll see you next time.